Gigi,
Hey Cal, how
it's
you doing?
Sunday. Girl, this Saturday hangover.
Huh,
Championship edition. Conference championship edition. What a weekend in college football.
I'm in all black. I'm in mourning. Some of those
What are you mourning? Your team didn't even play yesterday.
some of those teams died early,
Okay,
but it
we
it was a Saturday, Cal.
we'll get into that. We'll get into that.
Oh,
But yesterday, all conferences played their conference championship. That
yeah,
all FBS, FCS is different. They do a bracket, but all FBS played conference championships over the weekend, Friday or Saturday, right?
right. And you know what? Hats off to all you conference champions. I will say if you're a champion today, you obviously deserved it because it's been a long year.
This has been the craziest football season that I can remember, and I even remember the excitement around the first CFP championship in
Yeah,
2014. And I don't even but the season wasn't crazy. Like, you have this whole we'll get into it. We have undefeated teams, we have great one loss teams, and the arguments are gonna happen today later. Now, today is selection Sunday,
yep,
and we are filming this before Selection Sunday because we
right.
want to have time to watch all 4 hours, I think, of Selection Sunday. So
I
let's
can't take
let's
it.
let's. Oh, first thing I want to think. Watch the games yesterday. I kept getting thrown off by this whole neutral field thing. How is it a neutral field when Georgia plays Alabama in Atlanta, Georgia? When Texas
Right.
plays Oklahoma State in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah,
Now, they did
I didn't
joke
get
that
it either.
Mercedes-Benz Stadium was East Bama because Bama wins so much in the stadium, but I didn't. They kept saying that. Now, Oregon, Washington being in Vegas, that makes sense to me.
That was a
That
north.
makes
That
sense to me.
that made sense.
So yeah, so let's start there. The Washington Oregon game. My God, they gave us a game. They sent the Pac-12 off right. Michael Penix is that guy. Oregon was supposed to be the toughest. They were supposed to be the stronger team, more put together. They've already had one loss to Washington by 3 points in Washington. And I did not see the Bo Nix I thought I was supposed to see that Friday. And I did not see the Oregon I was supposed to see Friday. What about you?
Uh the first half, I'm with you. I did not. I thought we was going to come out. I
Right.
thought it was going to be a battle of the quarterbacks. It did not. The first quarter, I did not know who Bo Nix was. I do not know who that quarterback was. The first quarter. All I know is I went three and out. Is that did I just see what I just saw? And it went that way for a little bit, and then the true quarterbacks came out. And I do agree with you. Um, Michael Penix, and I have watched him before, and I have agreed with you. This guy is a real Heisman candidate. Uh, he came out and he said, "I'm ready to play." I don't think Bo Nix looked like he was ready to play. And what got me was, and I told my production manager, who is not with us right now, he is Scotty Retro, who is asleep. Um, why on the headlines across the bottom of the screen, they after the first, I believe it was before the first half, they put this little script. Bo Nix no longer the favorite in the Heisman running. I went, why would you put that on in the middle of the game? These people are out of their minds because when the second half rolled around, you seen a better game.
Yeah, yeah. First half I was completely shocked. And again, I know I've been a critic of the officiating all season, and I'm going to continue because this officiating, now we always say, don't let it be one player, don't let it be one score,
I,
don't let it be one call that throws you off. But there were several. Now, they weren't all in the way of Oregon, but there were several. And collectively, you look at that and you're like, are they always major, or like I said, like a momentum shifter? Maybe not. The first one was Bo Nix's first throw hits the referee, and they were charged a
I
down
saw
for it.
that. I saw
I
that.
was like, I'm sorry, what? They need to replay first down. Bo Nix did not do anything
They did
while
not.
you were in the middle of the field. His receiver was right there,
Right
and you in
behind
the
the
way.
ref. Right behind
That
the
was
ref.
it hit the ref. The ball hit the ref. But
I
it was
know.
like, or the
But if you,
umpire, whatever they call themselves. But why? Now, this was the first throw of the game, so I don't think that made the difference. But at the same time, it was just like, why were they charged it down? You should just repeat first down.
that's what I thought too. Because,
That
like
was
I said,
crazy.
you could see the receiver running right behind the referee as the referee got hit with the ball. You should have just called it. It would have been first down.
Right. If you're gonna be in the middle of the field, be useful. There was two other bad calls, but they were against Washington. So Washington won, so it didn't affect the game, but it just makes me worried because it's like, if you know better, you do better. There was a bad call for pass interference to me on Washington, and then I think there was a minute 52 left, and there was this great area call of holding from Washington, and I'm just like, that could have now that minute 52 that could have changed the game, but I
Mm-hmm.
mean, again, a way to send the Pac-12 offense style. It made me a little bit sad though. Did you see all of the Pac-12 mascots were at the game and they took a picture?
I did not. I did not. I
Oh,
was
it
like,
was.
I got so distraught. I was
Well, I seen it
distraught
on.
after
I
that
think I
game.
seen. I don't think I seen it on TV. I think I seen it on social. Maybe I seen it on both. But it
Might
was
have been.
this end of an era, right? People will look back and be like, "Whoa, the Pac-12 used to have USC." You know what I mean? Like we do.
Right.
Wait, such and such used to be where? Like it's a little bit bittersweet. So I am
You make a
excited that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, babes.
you make a good point because as each game that I watched, as each game began, or like you said, as it ended, most of the announcers on all of these games made the same comment you just made. We're watching the last game of the SEC championship. And it made me sad because I remembered all the games that we used
Well,
to watch.
SEC is different. The SEC
No,
is
I
not
no no no
changing.
no. I don't think they're changing. I'm just making the point that when I was watching some of their, they're saying we're watching the last game. We're watching this is the end of an era, and this is one of the games for the books because we'll never see we won't have this again. So it made it kind of bittersweet when all of the teams that you like you said were playing that will be moving next year.
Okay,
Last games.
SEC. Okay, SEC is different. So SEC, the announcers made their farewell because the SEC CBS contract is over after 24 years. So
Mm,
SEC is not changing that much. Texas is going to the SEC, but they're not doing a big shift like Pac-12, Big Ten, and the Big 12.
right,
So that's
right.
why they had a farewell, because it probably been the same announcers for the last 24 years, and they won't have CBS won't have the SEC championship next year, is what my understanding. But I can't believe they had Washington as a 9.5 underdog. That was ridiculous.
It was
Vegas got that
crazy.
way
It was
wrong.
crazy.
And we're gonna move on to the, I think it was the game of the weekend, um, and
Yes.
that would be the SEC championship, Alabama Georgia, number one Georgia against number 8 Alabama. And before you say a word, I would like to refer everyone to my last episode on Tuesday when I said Nick Saban is Nick Saban.
I told you the same thing.
You did
We know
not.
Nick.
We got it on
We
tape.
know
I
Nick.
said it.
But we know Nick. Nick will go down swinging. Nick ain't go. It's Nick Saban. But
Nicholas,
I
listen, Nicholas, I never underestimate Nicholas. And I'm gonna say
never.
this: Bama is Bama, and I can't believe I'm saying this because Bama gets under my craw for some reason, and I've over the years I've come to appreciate them more because it's a tough game and they do make big wins. And it's not, I think they made it look easy a lot of times, but it's not easy. And so this season, them coming into this game as the underdog, one lost to Texas at home when they were going through their quarterback issues, which
Right.
it to me is not the same Bama team. I was thoroughly impressed. Now, I will say this, and I know it doesn't matter. So Georgia Tech, I did not give Georgia credit because last week I thought Georgia Tech played them tough and they did not look like the
Yes,
Georgia they looked like all season. Well, two of the main players, Brock Bauer and McConkey, were out hurt last week. I don't think I realized that. They were completely out. Well, they came back today, but they're not 100%.
they
McConkey
were
is
not.
limping. Bauer went to sit out. So we all can say this for I mean Bama had their main wide receiver was also out yesterday. So I always just in the back of my head have a thought of what if everybody was healthy? I'm not
Yes,
saying the game would be different, but I just hate when people have somebody hurt and it's a key player, or even if it's not even maybe they don't make a lot of plays, they just start, but I should say that they make the plays they need to make. You don't hear their name, but you just hate to you just wonder, right? And not for championship, not for the win, just to see the game, just to
right.
see the healthy players in a great game. But um, I thought both teams I like this game the best because it was a full game to me.
Yes, it
Both
was.
teams,
They
both teams had a great start. Both teams, um, both teams, um, played and fought the whole game.
mhm.
Alabama's O line, I don't know where they ranked in the whole thing, but
Say no
I
more.
That and I think I don't want to say I think I I know that's the key. Now I think Bama usually has decent defense. I'm not saying their defense is always the greatest. They do what they have to do, but they their O line is insane. The way they held that pocket, my God. And um there was that aggressive 4th and 4. Bama went for it, and it's controversial today. Of course, everybody's like, was it a catch? Was it not a catch? Did it hit the ground? Why didn't they review it? And I just say, welcome to Ohio State's world because I'm still saying that was an interception, and everybody razzing me on the internet. It was a touchdown. Poor Ohio State fans. Yeah, like Michigan's ever made it out the semi finals of the playoffs. Anyway, I'm sorry, sorry.
Lost your
But
head.
it happens, and um, that's why again you can't leave it down to one play. The the huge fumble with the pass off. I'm sorry, let me go back. Georgia's huge fumble when Beck passed it off to Bell. Now that was on Bell. Beck played it smooth. He was supposed to do a turn to pretend he had it, but he passed it, but he kept looking down the field, and Bell just dropped it. Huge, huge. And then they kept saying, and this is the one thing I'm gonna say. Um, Kirby Smart got out coached on. They kept saying he's got two spies on Milrow, two spies on Milrow. Well, you put two spies on Milrow, and then what you got? Like six players left on the field to cover everybody else, and it wasn't working. I think it worked maybe once or twice, but why do you have two? Because Milrow's a runner, right? You have two spies on Milrow. It's not. Stop. Stop. So that's
Yeah.
the only part I can think he got out coached on. And I mean, honestly, the way they played, that big fumble and the two spies is the only flaws I got. Really, I don't know what notes did you have. What did you see? What that I didn't
Well,
see?
obviously, when the two spies took their eyes off of Jalen Milrow, what did you see him do? Which I did not notice when the first, I think I watched game with Alabama. That boy took off. I
He
said,
a
he
runner.
run? I don't think I remembered it from the last game I watched, but his two spies must have said, this ain't working. Whoever they did, I'm watching the game, and all of a sudden, This runner is running down. I went, oh man, what a run! I did not realize it was Jaden Monroe.
And Milroy, thank God he took a
Hey,
dive and went out of
yeah.
bounds.
And then I
He
thought, okay. Then the second time he ran, I went, oh, now he a runner and a quarterback. I went, okay, y'all are done for now because now if you take your eyes off of Milroe, you don't know what he's gonna do. Is he gonna pass? And now Milroe had become a double threat, and I thought, this might be the hey, this might be the punch
been
in the gut.
he's been he's been a double threat. He had one game he had like 4 rushing touchdowns. He
I
is
remember
gotten
that.
better and better. And I will give kudos because I think we mentioned it on one of our shows. I will give credit to the coaching staff. After he lost to Texas and they benched him after that, and in that game, figuring out who's the guy, he has gotten better and better, and the coaches have built plays around him. That's the coach's job. Sometimes when we sit here and we talk about um uh players and especially quarterbacks. Let's say quarterbacks. We talk about
Right,
quarterbacks and we talk about like talk about the disappointing games. Florida State, Louisville. He has a third string freshman quarterback. It is the coaching staff's job to make plays for the situation. So
right.
guess what? You don't know if he can throw. Where's the run game? We don't have a lot of runners. Get some runners. Figure it out. We don't know if he can throw long. Maybe we could do short passes. We could do trick plays. I love there were several trick plays over
There were
this year
several.
that weren't even kind of necessary. I love the old flea flicker. Toss it to
I
somebody, toss
do
it to
too.
somebody, back to the
I love a good
quarterback
flea
for the
flicker.
throw. Buy you some time. Buy you some time. Buy you some time.
That's
Don't
right.
always that conservative play calling is out the door
It's out.
sometimes.
It's
It's just it
outdated.
just
You
doesn't work. Big games, you on a third string quarterback in your conference championship, you got to do what you gotta do. And with somebody like Milrow, they did it, and they reaping the benefits. Alabama upsets number 1 Georgia with what 29 straight win games, back to back
yeah,
of
right,
national championships, and that is
right.
because Nicholas Saban. Nicholas Nicholas Luther Saban. I don't know if that's his middle name, but
Nicholas
I'm giving it to him.
Saban.
Nicholas Luther Saban wake up and he come out and he do what he gotta do.
Suitcase Saban.
Suitcase. I don't know if you could call him that anymore. I think he's been at Bama for like 20 years.
I think he has. Yeah, yeah. He unpacked his
He's been at Bama
suitcase.
like
Yeah,
20
he
years.
unpacked.
You don't see that anymore. Been a coach for like 20 years. Mike Gunty for Oklahoma State, I think he's been a coach for 19 years. And
Right, right,
it's kind of refreshing to see, but it's also kind of like
right,
is the college making a bad move because what if you got somebody fresh? Maybe you would get farther.
right.
So, wait, you have anything else? Those games were absolutely amazing, amazing
Okay,
championship
that
game.
as far as the top games of the day, those two were the top
What a weekend
true championship games of the day. I
of
didn't,
the weekend.
like you said, Texas, Oklahoma, Texas, what,
Well,
11-1, and or what? I can't remember. They were seven. You played a 9-3 team. You beat the
Yeah,
pants off
yeah,
them. But
yeah.
to
Texas was
me,
11-1. Yeah.
it wasn't championship caliber. Then you saw the Florida Louisville game,
Well,
right?
I watched the Oklahoma Texas game, and I missed the first drive. I guess Oklahoma State's coach Mike Gunty was going crazy. It was a bad call. I told myself I was gonna rewatch it, and I knew Oklahoma State was 9-3. I didn't expect them to win. I expected Texas to win big. Don't get me wrong, but I did expect Oklahoma State to play them a little bit tougher. They're like one of those,
Absolutely.
yeah, they're like
Do
Florida
or
or
die
Miami. Like
situation.
they ain't got to be winning to come play
Urgency. We
you,
need
right?
to win. There was no urgency to that game. Like, okay, it's another game. This is the championship. It is not another game. And they came out flat to me. That's all I can
Yeah,
say about
exactly.
Oklahoma. Flat.
I completely agree. And Mike Gunty again, like I said, 19 years. He's a seasoned coach. So
Yeah.
I just wanted to see a little bit more. But
Yeah.
Ewers, is his name Brock? Also, so many Brocks. I feel like
Yeah.
What's his
What
name?
we
Sam. No, it's Sam. Sam Ewer,
who?
quarterback for Texas.
Okay.
He had a record breaking performance, and um yes, definitely should get kudos for that. But I don't think Oklahoma, I think it felt like Oklahoma State was helping him. But Texas, like I said earlier, is leaving the Big 12 and going to the SEC. I I don't know if SEC, I don't know. I mean, you could go to the SEC and be a Kentucky, you know what I mean, and an Ole Miss for sure. But are you going to be able to go against Alabama and Georgia every year? Because this Georgia
Absolutely. I know.
train ain't
I know.
stopping. Bama train ain't stopping.
The
So
band
we'll see.
trains.
But the game got away from Oklahoma State, and it kind of got ugly. And I mean, because of the scoring, obviously, and it just was like, oh, what a letdown. But let's talk
That
about
it
ugly
is what it is. Or it
as
was
we
what it
started to
was.
mention, let's talk about ugly. I'll let you go. Florida State with a third string freshman quarterback, number, what are they, 4 against Louisville.
Okay. Kelly, I thought I had high hopes for this game.
I
I
didn't.
thought Rodemaker would play, but of course, you know that he was a last minute, and they put out a freshman called Brock Glenn, which was shade. No, 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 no tea, no shade. But that game came out 3 and out, punt, 3 and out, punt, 3 and out. Do you know how the first quarter ended? With a punt. Nobody scored. They punted back and forth. What the announcer said was, well, first quarter was a punt fest. I totally agree with him. This is a championship game. This is number 4, Florida State. And I started to doubt at that point, how are you number 4? All through the year, these announcers have dissed Oregon, they've dissed this team, they've dissed that team. Oh, these people deserve this, blah, blah, blah. True, they had the big setback when Jason Travis got hurt. I will give them that. But you
Jason
bounce
or
back,
Jordan?
right? Yeah, I'm sorry. What am I talking about? For Florida
Jason
State.
Bean. Go ahead.
Jason,
Yeah, Jordan
no,
Travis.
Travis.
Yeah.
True, they had that setback, but you're still a championship team. Like you mentioned, they had injuries. Georgia had injuries. Some other teams had injuries. They were limping off the field, but they were playing. So you come in with a third string quarterback, and it was just, may I use this word? Ugly. It was the ugliest game I have ever seen. Not There were two teams out there, Louisville, which were I can't remember the Louisville and Florida. You come out to play, ugliest game I've ever seen.
Where
I
was
don't
that
even call that
statement
a
going?
championship.
You lost me. I, it was hard to watch.
Hard to watch.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at 6 punts, 0-0, like in the first quarter. I'm
I
not mad at
was
that. When I am a little bit mad at that because you should at least got a field goal. But first things first. I mean, Florida State's defense won that game for them. They won that game for
absolutely.
them. They kept that quarterback was learning as he goes. And yes, there's injuries, but for you to go from somebody like Jordan Travis, who was a Heisman candidate, to your third string freshman quarterback is a major shift in your team. And the other thing is, and that's Florida, and I don't want to make an excuse, but that's the circumstances they were under. You know who I'm super disappointed in? Louisville. Now, before last week, Louisville was ranked number 9 or 10 until they lost last week to Kentucky. So I thought Louisville, I said, whoa, Louisville's going to win this game. Now, at first, I had Florida by 5.5 points when I thought Rodemaker, because I thought he could pull it out. Rodemaker's not shabby, and we've
You're not.
seen him. I never knew this guy's name until yesterday. And
Me either.
so for Florida State. And so I said, Louisville's been playing together all year. They know what they doing. They have the synergy. Louisville looked terrible to me. Now it's their first ACC championship, but the ACC is the
This
ACC. I think it's
season.
one of the weakest Power Five conferences. I was, I, it was
That,
secondhand embarrassment. It was
is it?
terrible.
Oh,
It was
thank you.
terrible.
I like that word. An embarrassment. Kelly, the
Well, I got
fumbles.
secondhand. I was embarrassed, and I wasn't even in the game. I just didn't get it, and it pisses me off because Louisville should have took care of business and beat Florida. Because now you have an undefeated, shaky Florida who won their conference championship. Who I'm gonna say it on. I don't think is going to be competitive against several of the other teams in the I'll say the top 10. I'm gonna say the top 10. I don't care. I
God,
think Penn State. I think Penn
I
State
can't
could keep up
say
with
it.
Florida State.
Say
So
it. Yay. Say it. Sing it, sister.
that's bananas. It's bananas to me, and especially without
It was
Jordan Travis,
awful.
Penn State could definitely give Florida State some work. The other ugly game, which we and let me go back because we giving Florida this thing with the third string quarterback, and I think it's the one for the history books because everybody mentions this story. Nobody mentions any other team or any other story. But Ohio State 2014 team had a third
Uh,
string quarterback,
yes.
right? What's it?
Cordell
Braxton
Jones.
Miller. Braxton Miller was our guy for the season. He gets hurt mid-season. We get the second string. JT Barrett comes in during the game. JT Barrett gets hurt, and we all went to the snack table and got shots because we said this game is
It's
over.
over.
We didn't
It's
think
over.
JT Barrett was hanging. We didn't think the second string was going to be able to fight against Michigan. And then in comes Cardell Jones. And Cardell Jones, third string quarterback, comes in and we beat Michigan. Well, the first year for CFP, the committee's shaky on Ohio State and their third string quarterback. Cardell goes to the Big Ten champion. Cardell and a team, let's give credit, goes to that Big Ten championship and beats Wisconsin 59-0. And of course, Ohio State goes on to be the first team to win the
And they played
college
who?
football.
And
College
who they
football,
play?
Wisconsin.
Oh, who they played in the championship?
They beat Bama, right? I think they beat Bama,
TK
right?
Saban.
Nicholas Saban. We beat Nicholas Saban with a third string quarterback. So I don't want to say that. What I am saying though is when he came out, you didn't see what you wanted to see. So if you're the committee today, you
No,
see that, that's gonna be tough. So
Kel.
um the other
It,
thing about so the Michigan win, a win, what was it, 29-0, I think, or 24-0 was the end
I
score?
don't know. I didn't watch it.
Well,
I didn't waste my electricity.
oh, I'm
I
sorry,
was
26
watching.
to 0. I
I was
I
watching the
watched
Florida
it.
game.
Well, I watched it because I keep trying to I'm keep trying to convince myself I'm missing something from Michigan because again, like I said earlier, Michigan's been in the top four. So if CFP
Right.
started 2014, then
Yeah.
almost 10 years, right? So not this is the ninth, 10th year, whatever we're gonna call it.
Right.
Michigan's gone to the semifinals twice. They've lost twice. They've never been the top two. So they've only been the top four twice and never been the top two. So I'm trying to see, can this Michigan team at the time, can this Michigan team, oh no, I already knew. Can this Michigan team beat Georgia? Can this Michigan team beat Alabama? Can this Michigan team beat Washington?
Right.
And I just didn't see it. And let me tell you something. I know the score does not reflect it. It was 26-0. Iowa's defense Iowa's defense held them
Yeah.
to field goals several times. Iowa's defense got 3-and-outs several times. So though Iowa didn't score and Iowa was number 16, we knew that we're, you know what I mean, not gonna win.
Right.
I gotta say, that game was not as ugly as the Florida State Louisville game to me.
That's
Like Iowa came to play. Now Iowa don't, they made them have the best quarterback or whatever the case. It was shocking, but I said we shouldn't be shocked because 59-0 Wisconsin. I think that game we probably don't even remember the score because we probably got so delirious, like, oh my god, I can't believe we here. Um, but that game, Harborough was back, of course, on the
yes.
sideline. Now, me and you haven't discussed what's been going on with them, and we don't have to get into it today, but I do want to make a comment about it. So Harborough was suspended 3 games from the sign stealing incident, and which to me feels like an admission to guilt, but we'll see. Well, I say we'll see because I thought this thing was he took the 3 games almost like a no contest plea, right? Give me the 3 games,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna do my bid, and then I'm gonna be done with it. Well, they said that the NCAA is still investigating, and will Harborough be at
Mm-hmm.
Michigan next year? Because even last
I
year,
know.
Harborough was entertaining going back to the NFL. And I
Right.
think I said, "Oh, I don't think I realized that. I thought he left the NFL was like, college is where he wanted to kind of end his career." And then I thought, all this year, everybody is, oh, Harborough, coaches. Harborough, thank you so much. The team or the players. Harborough's the players coach. And I'm like, he wasn't even going to be here this year. What are you talking about? He's like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. And so they say with the investigation still going on, will he just leave the NCAA and maybe go get a back into the NFL and not have to even deal with whatever repercussions
I
may
don't.
come
Yeah.
down? And
Yeah.
I just was like, okay,
I haven't heard
but
that.
that well now
That'll
you
be
know because I
interesting.
didn't know either. I will say I've been kind of 50-50 on this whole conference expansion. After the Big Ten championship game yesterday in the last several years, I'm actually looking forward to the expansion. It's gonna be weird, we Oregon's gotta play Washington. I mean, Oregon's gotta play Ohio State. They gotta play Michigan. Michigan, Ohio State don't play all the same teams like usual. Like
Right.
I think they
Right.
play Penn State, but they don't play Penn State. And I'm kind of excited to shake it up because since 2017 the big championship winner has been either Ohio State or Michigan. So it was Ohio State for 4 years straight, and then Michigan just won their third year straight. And it's just like, what's the Big Ten East doing? I think they're on the West, right? But it's just like,
Right.
let's get back to making it a competition. So, um, speaking of competition, I I want to be clear. Like we sit here and we give our 2 cents about these games and these people and these players, but I mean, you got to give kudos. These coaches, these players, the man in the arena, as I think FDR says in a quote, they are the men and women in the arena, and they go out
Right.
there. I could never in my life have been a college quarterback coach, right? I mean, a college quarterback, right? I could probably be a coach though.
I can be a coach. Put me in,
You could
coach.
be, you could be,
I can
you'll be
play.
my,
Put
you,
me in.
you'll be
I
my,
could
you'll
play
be my,
yesterday
you'll
in
be
that
my.
Florida Louisville
Hey,
game.
you feisty.
They
You'll be my
needed
defensive
something.
coordinator. I'll put you. They needed you out there. I'll put you as defensive coordinator.
Hey,
You'll
I can
be,
fumble.
you'll be. I see you grabbing that helmet in their face. You grew up with Bobby Knight.
Put me on the
You gonna
sideline. I can shake
get
them up.
aggressive.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah, you a student of the Bobby Knight. But I mean, they came out. This season was fantastic. I know it's not over. I know we got a lot more a lot more. I say a lot more games to go. But
No.
I definitely want to give kudos for that. And then one other question I got for you. I watched some of the other games I won't mention. They were not impressive. But I mean, what about the idea of there being like a college Pro Bowl or like All-Star game, right? So
Oh,
All-Star
that
game
would
is
be.
fun because you get right.
Well, the thing
You get
about that is a lot of them won't even play in the bowl games due to due to the possibility of injuries. And the to play in a Pro Bowl game in college, it's kind of if I don't know if I'd be a fan of that because you're trying to
well,
be
well,
healthy
well,
to
hear
get
me out.
into the NFL.
Hear me out. Imagine a quarterback, like the University of Toledo's quarterback Finn behind Alabama's O line,
Ah,
right?
yeah.
Or a SEC O line, right? I
Wow.
always imagine what could somebody be if it was just one little key chain, right?
Right.
Imagine Marvin Harrison getting a throw from Jalen Milrow, right?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
just like you just want to kind of see that talent on the field. You are absolutely right. everybody would, not maybe want to do it, and maybe they do it at the beginning of the season, not the end. But I just thought that'd be so cool. That'd be so cool to see. So
That's a good idea. But
the here we are to the question that you probably dreading, I'm dreading, and I know 13 people in that committee room are dreading.
I call in sick today.
Who is your top four?
Oh, top four. My God, Kelly, I had a clear top two. Um, uh, I had Michigan and Washington. No, let me put it this way. I kind of put Washington ahead of Michigan. I put Washington as number one.
Okay, so
I
you
kind
got
of put
Washington.
Michigan.
Sorry,
Okay.
go.
Then I kind of said, well, Michigan got to be two. Oh God, I got mixed up on three and four. Oregon definitely is out. I just threw them out.
Of course.
And oh God, the committee might go with Florida, but I'm sorry, I couldn't go with Florida. I could not. They seen the same game I saw. But here I go. I'm at number three, Texas. Number four,
Okay.
Alabama. I've dropped Georgia. I dropped Georgia out because
Wow. An
I'm sorry.
undefeated conference champion not making it to the top four.
Who's undefeated?
Florida State.
Oh. Okay. All right. Oh God. Kelly, all right, you're right. You're right. Maybe I'll make them four and put Alabama three. No, Alabama. Never mind.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
glad I'm not on the committee.
Oh my gosh, so glad. So this is how I think it's gonna go. Number one, Washington. Number two, Michigan. Number three, Texas. Number four, Florida State. Now, hear me out. Now, if it went the way I wanted it to go, I mean, at this point, not in the beginning. Obviously, I want Ohio State, but that's not an option. If it went the way I wanted it to go, and I think would give us the best playoffs, competition wise, I would say Washington, Michigan, Texas, Bama. Actually, I probably would even say Washington, Michigan, Bama, Georgia. So I
Yes,
think,
that's a
yeah, Florida State is just shaky to me. I don't think Florida State could beat any of the teams we've just mentioned. Like I said before, I kind of am curious to see if Michigan can beat any of these teams, not including Florida State, obviously. But a Michigan, you know what I mean? And in Texas, I don't know what Texas really looks like. But the reason I gave my first one is because yes, Bama beat number one Georgia. And yes, everybody says a top four without SEC is blasphemous. But guess what? That's the way the cookie crumbles, right? You make decisions in life that come back to haunt you sometime. And no, it's not the same Bama team. Do I think Texas could beat Bama today? Absolutely not. But they beat them then. And so you can't put, it's going to be a hard argument to put Bama in over Texas. Now, this is just us. We don't have the big stat boards in front of us and strength of schedule, which I still think Texas, I think yesterday they had a graphic. Texas had a stronger strength of schedule than every other one-loss team at the time before all the championship games played. So, without Oregon, of course, because they play Friday. But I think it's going to be tough. I'm with you. I know you wanted a job with the committee a few weeks ago. I'm going to resign that application. It's going to be tough today, but I can't wait to watch it.
I was gonna call in sick. But like you say,
Hey,
how are they gonna pick?
I can't come in.
You mentioned last year that TCU game, and to this day he whined and I don't think they should be counted out because of one loss. They don't deserve to be punished. And look how that game ended. They got trounced. I mean trounced. So, like you said to me, are they going to go with the team that's deserving 12-0 Florida or the best teams? Can you say right now, like you just said, do you think right now that Florida State can beat any of these top three teams we mentioned? No.
No,
I would
no.
even give
And Florida,
Michigan overall.
Florida is 13-0. Please put respect on their name. It's the
I'm
first time they've
sorry.
been 13 and
I'm
0
sorry.
in like 100 years. I feel
I'm
so
sorry.
bad for that team and for Coach Mike Novell if they don't get in because they've done
True.
everything you're supposed to do. They won. They won. That's
That's
all
it.
you're supposed to do. You're supposed to win, right? Now it'd
They
be
didn't
different if we
win
was talking
pretty,
about.
but they won.
It'd be different. It'd be different if we was talking about 6 undefeated teams, but we are not. So I don't think Florida State can beat Washington, Michigan, Bama, Georgia, Oregon, shit, Missouri. I think Missouri played them. To me, Florida would have beat uh, Florida State if Florida's quarterback Merck wouldn't have got hurt because they were
True.
giving
True.
them work.
True.
They
Yeah.
barely beat Miami, and if
Right.
Miami, it was a fifth, but that's how I
It
feel. Okay,
was.
I got a surprise. I got one more surprise question for you, and then I'm gonna let us get ready for this election Sunday.
Okay.
Tomorrow, they are going to announce the Heisman finalist, and
Okay.
they will present the trophy on Saturday the 9th.
Right.
Who is your top 3 candidates for Heisman?
My top three of
Yep.
what I've seen this year. Um, my top three is going to be, of course, um, Penix, Michael Penix Jr. And then
Mhm.
although the game was not the game I think he wanted it to be, Bo Nix. And I had not
Mm.
seen a lot of this young man, but I did watch him one game, and that would be what was it? What's his name? LSU coach, LSU QB,
Daniels.
Jane Daniels. But my money's on Penix.
So good choices. So you know what? I like that you picked Knicks because I think you're right. He no they didn't win a conference championship, but they got a way better record than LSU, and I feel like LSU
Right,
been stuffing Jalen Daniels down our throat since week 4, which has been
right,
kind of crazy and ridiculous. But
right.
he does have some ridiculous numbers.
He
So
does.
I actually have uh and obviously the propaganda must have worked on you and it's working on me. So I have Penix, Daniels, and Marvin Harrison. I said what I
Oh, you know
said.
what?
I said what I said.
I didn't think about Marvin Harrison because you know
Of
why? The
course you did.
propaganda is working. We so seldom think of like the running backs. We forgot about poor little Archie Griffin, didn't we? 2-time winner. And I'm thinking, yes, yes, good choice. I forgot. I forgot. We're so hyped with the QBs, we forget the QBs, the
I
guys that
know.
make the QBs
I'm
look
gonna
good.
I'm gonna look up the stats, but I always thought it wasn't quarterbacks, but I guess it always is quarterbacks. I don't know. Or I mean majority quarterbacks. So this is what we're gonna do, right? Um we are going to we're gonna watch selection Sunday today. And then next week,
I ain't
only
watching
game
4 hours.
I'm watching
I
all
ain't doing
four.
four
I'm getting some
hours.
popcorn and some eggnog. I'm ready. It's December, baby.
Eggnog,
Um, so
eggnog.
we got obviously adult eggnog too. Don't play me. I'm gonna spike it a little. So we have the Navy Army game next week, which is
Right,
tradition. Very excited about that. We have that's on Saturday the 9th. We have the Heisman Trophy presentation on the 9th. And then of course
right.
today they will select the top 4, they'll select all the bowl games. If you're into it, I say you and me come back here Sunday the 10th and we talk about all of that. Championships,
Okay.
bowl, Heisman, Navy, Army, and we give our 2 cents. It'll give us a whole week to hear all the other talking heads talk to us about why, who, when, and where.
Uh,
For
Good luck
the
with that.
next for the next section of this 23-24 season,
Uh,
which is the bowl section. So, are you down to clown?
I'm down to clown, like
I'm down to
Florida was
clown, G.
yesterday.
I still can't believe they pulled that off. I gotta go back.
Never mind. You see the
I
score?
wish I would love to go. You know what? I feel bad for the teams. I would not want to go back and watch that film.
I wouldn't either. 16-6. Never mind. Never mind.
I'm talking
Okay,
about the
we'll
teams
be
that
here.
gotta play them. Anyways, all right. So we will get out of here. We will sign off.
Okay.
You know me. I'm Kelly, like the color.
Hey, I'm Gee like the mom. Oh, no, I'm not. Wait a minute. Let me do that again. Oh, let me do that again, folks. I am Gee like the butter.
And this is Saturday Hangover. Like, subscribe, follow, and we gonna come back, y'all. The season's over, the championship's over, but we not. We gonna come back next week. So we will see y'all then.
Cheerio, facts.